So Bluewater just came out with a brand new 25, which you can see right here behind me. We came over to Stuart to check it out in person. We got a brief look over at the Stuart Boat Show, but now we're actually gonna be able to jump on board, take a look around, get the drone up in the air, and do our thing. Let's make it happen. One thing I noticed before they put it in the water, this has the Seakeeper Rides on it, so we're gonna get a good feeling of what they are capable of doing, and it's really nice to have it on a boat like this. Again, the Seakeeper Rides are fully automatic. You don't have to touch the trim tab for anything, and it completely, or almost completely, eliminates the pitch and roll of the boat, so it's almost like you're floating, similar to somewhat of a hovercraft is the closest thing I can compare it to. So we just jumped on plane. We're in the bay, but there was a ton of boat traffic, and the first thing you feel is the Seakeeper Ride system kick into play. At first you're gonna feel it fighting itself a little bit, but all of a sudden we get up on plane, and again you get that kind of hovercraft feel. You don't get any of that pitch, any roll, and you just kind of glide over the water. So it's really nice to have, and every single Bluewater has them now standard. Okay, so we popped offshore a little bit just to see what the 25 is capable of, and I know what you guys are probably saying because it never translates to video. It's 2 feet or less out here, but if you can see what the boat's doing, it's not 2 feet or less. You know, these are 3-footers, there's some 2-footers, and there's probably some 4-footers back in there. With the drone, we were running a little bit slower just so the drone could keep up, and we were getting some airtime, honestly. And with the Seakeeper Ride system, it seems like the more speed you give it, the more aggressive it gets. So we got up on top of the waves a little bit, and the boat ran incredibly well. Again, this is a 25-footer, it's not a huge boat, and with these seas, and a lot of people aren't gonna even mess with it, but we landed soft every single time, and I wanna show you what it feels like to be inside the boat, so we're gonna get some footage from within here and try to get a little bit more speed depending on what the weather conditions and what the sea conditions are doing. So let's go ahead and have at it. All right, here we go. Straight head sea right now. There we go. At a head sea, turned to a quartering sea, and we were doing 35 miles an hour. And I don't know if you can see it through the video, but it was landing soft every single time. Obviously you got to work the throttle a little bit just like you would on any boat, but it's pretty impressive what the Seakeeper Ride does, especially when you pick up some speed. You go slower like that, and again, physics is just gonna get the boat and send it upwards and downwards, but you pick up some speed, the Seakeeper Ride is gonna come into play big time. So we're not doing any rolling. It's keeping the bow down just enough, I gave it a little bit of trim, nothing crazy, and we're just cruising right over the same sea conditions we were flopping around in a second ago. So again, the Seakeeper Ride system is amazing. If you have not experienced it yourself, you just got to get out on this thing and try it. Look at it. Same sea. Check out what we're doing. It really almost feels like you're in the rough sea, and if we got transferred over to the bay.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're in the same sea condition, and I hope people see it and realize it on screen that we're in the same exact area. We're not going to you know, we're not running inshore to fabricate this. It's solid 3-footers here, rolling around plenty. But when that thing kicks in, we were doing 35-40 miles an hour, I think, over it with absolutely no problem, which really should not happen on a 25-foot boat, and obviously wouldn't happen if you didn't have the Seakeeper Ride system in it engaged. So really cool, very solid boat. Didn't hear a rattle at any point. Very nice. So we're very impressed on how the boat performed, but now we're gonna walk inside and take a look around. Now we want to dive into the details of the 25 Bluewater. The thing rode really nice. Glad we got some weather to be able to test it. And the Seakeeper Ride combination is phenomenal. And we're going to start with the Suzuki Power. We got twin 200s here. Obviously these things are very efficient. You can do well over 2 miles per gallon at about 40, and top end is 54. They're connected to an Armstrong bracket. You got 28 feet, including the bracket on this boat, 25 feet to the transom. We got an 8.5 beam. You got an entry door on the starboard side, and dual 25 gallons live wells here on the transom. We got dual in-deck fish boxes. These are insulated, macerated. They'll hold ice for you and keep your fish fresh, nice and clean. Bilge, simple. You got your transducer down the middle, your bilge pumps, and then your pumps for the live wells. So easy to get into. Get your access to do any maintenance that you need to do. You have a retractable angle cooler, and it's nice that they have this handle down the middle. It's not one of those clip mechanisms that sometimes can be a pain, especially when it's choppy out. That makes it real easy to get in and out. And then you have a rear-facing seat when you do have it deployed. Then you have an acrylic panel here opening up a tackle station, so you have space for your plano boxes and other compartments here. And there's a little thing that you can divide up whatever you want to put in there, hooks, sleds, anything of that nature. And they did a really nice job putting the plumbing of the cup holders and rod holders tucked away behind, so you really don't even see them. Underneath the gunnels, you have horizontal rod storage on both sides. You got your fresh and saltwater washdowns, and you have your electric reel outlets as well. For those of you who are familiar with Bluewater, they had a 25 before. It was a 2-piece hull. They maintained the same 25-foot hull, which has been proven, and everybody liked the ride of the boat. But they actually created a 3-piece hull, which now you have the hull, the liner, and the cap, which creates a more solid overall structure. So really nice to see. And I'm sitting here at the helm. You got an Edson wheel, your Suzuki throttles. I like how they darken this area up, gives it kind of a mean feel. And then they flush mounted the 8612s by Garmin into that piece. You have your Suzuki gauges here, Seakeeper Ride system. You got your trim cup holders, nice enclosure, and then up top, you have your Garmin VHF and fusion head unit. They did a nice job with the piping here as well. They have this D-piping, which is pretty fancy and like a satin black finish. Then they had put this compartment. You can throw one of those tea bags up here, life jackets, whatever you may need. You got vertical rod storage here, and then you got your dual helm seats, which when I'm running the boat, I kind of like to be standing. You have a Bluewater decking pad here, which makes it more comfortable. And then you can actually sit up and relax if you're going to make a longer run. And you even have a retractable armrest on both sides to keep you nice and tucked in. All right, I'm going to open the hull side door. It's collapsible there to be able to make it around that cap, and then it magnetizes right there to stay out of the way. I'll go ahead and step right in here so you can get a good gauge of the size So good size headroom for a 25. Access to your rigging. The starboard panels come off completely for easier access to basically every electronic that you have up here. You can do a head if you would like. That would be on this pedestal. You got your battery switch panel here, batteries up front, battery charger, and your Fusion amp. And if you're not using it for anything else, you got a great bit of storage here for a 25 footer, which you honestly can never have too much of. One thing I have noticed is that the fit and finish of this boat is incredibly nice. You got to see it in person to really experience it. You got diamond non-skid up on the cap and down below. 2 storage boxes, which are not huge, but get the job done for what you need. And then you got a big kill box here down the center. I'll crack this open so you can get a look at that. Gas shocked, nicely finished underneath, gasketed so you don't let water in, and then anything that does get in drains right here directly towards the transom and overboard. And lastly, you got a forward-facing seat, cool upholstery, diamond stitching on this one in particular. Then you open this up and you have a cooler underneath. One thing I want to show you is the Gemlux hardware, and they must know somebody up top at Gemlux because they have the Bluewater logo stamped into the Coastal Series rod holders. So really nice. And then I'm going to finish things off here at the bow. You got 2 cleats, one on both sides, and then you got access to your anchor and pop-up navigation light, which I'm not sure how to get up. There it is. Got it. At least I got it before the sun went down. Lastly, I wanted to mention that they have multiple audio packages. They have 4 7.7s on here. You can go up to 8 if you'd like. So reach out to these guys. This is a boat you're going to want to see if you're interested in something in the 25-foot range. It feels like a lot bigger boat than 25 feet when you're on it, and it's a big, hefty, beefy boat. You'd have no problem feeling comfortable running across to the Bahamas or doing anything else, your long-range fishing trips with this, and obviously it's pretty comfortable with the family as well. So head over to bluewatersportfishingboats.com for more information, and if you'd like for us to answer any questions now that we have some experience with the boat, reach out to the comments or support@centerconsolesonly.net. My name is Alan. Thank you guys as always for hanging out with us today, and we'll see you again very soon.